And one more example, I think, but what I can provide, but it can be more complex, not only to understand, but also to describe for me. Um, it's example with interfaces. Just because interface, it's also abstract class. It's not directly abstract class. We're not specifying abstract as a keyword for interface. We're just specifying that it is interface. But we know that it is a class, and we know it's abstract. The abstract meaning it cannot be initialized, right? We know that some classes may implement this interface. We know that this interface will contain some implementations. And using these implementations, yes, we cannot initialize them. Or we can initialize them, but we cannot initialize the interface. So the interface, it's abstraction. And if interface is abstraction, it can be polymorphic. It means that actually we may operate with object as an interface. We know that, for example, we have 3 classes, for example, and each of these class implements some specific interface, some one interface in the top. We know, for example, I don't know how to say. For example, what we have? Okay, we have, for example, in the top level class figure. In the lower levels, we have circle, square, cylinder, for example, these 3 classes. And each of these classes will implement interface showable or drawable. So each of these objects can be displayed on the screen. If we, for example, call method show, the figure will appear in our screen. And if we call, for example, hide, this object will hide. Okay, so we know that each class implemented this interface, and we can actually work not with class figure, but with class interface directly. We may operate with interface. We may call, for example, we may again go to Zoomarket as a client and ask seller to give us 3 animals which can, for example, I don't know, can fly. Okay, we know the interface flyable. It's a general thing that in programming we combining 2 words, one the verb and one the able. So don't be confused with this. We going to market and we're asking, give us 3 animals which can fly. We're not asking, we're not really care about which classes it could be. It could be different classes in different hierarchy places. It can be, of course, these all classes will inherit from the top layer animal class, but in general, they can be in a different parts of this hierarchy, right? And when we're asking for these 3 classes, 3 objects, we know that these all 3 classes will implement the interface flyable. And we can actually operate with these objects as polymorphic objects, because we know that we can call from this object the method fly. And we know that each object can fly because they implement the interface. And we know that if we will implement code in such a way, this code will work anytime when we're working with flyable objects, with objects which implemented this interface. So it is another example of polymorphism, just because interface, it's another example of abstraction. So I hope now it's more clear for you. Let's see what we can discuss further.